ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
A crumpled plane is still on the ground tonight in Kearney Mesa after crashing with 2 people on board. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That plane went down this afternoon behind the Kyocera building. That's where our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is live with the very latest, where investigators are there tonight.
And investigators with the NTSB are expected here tonight. They're expected to look over this plane crash and determine what happened. Now, the plane did crash here on the property of Kyocera here on Balboa Avenue, just off the 163. It is private property, and we were being told to stay outside the gates. The plane is just behind this building. Our ABC 10 News breaking news tracker was on scene shortly after the plane went down. Here is some of the video they took so that you can see the shape of that plane. The battalion chief with San Diego Fire Rescue says there were 2 men on board the plane. When they arrived, one of them was already working to get himself out of the plane. Fire rescue officials say both men were talking, which is a good sign, but both were taken to the hospital as major trauma.
As you know, we can't look in and see what's going on. And when you have any sort of gravity like that, where you fall from such a high height in an airplane, we're worried about what's happening internally. They might look okay on the outside, but they could have crushing injuries on the inside.
Now, Sky 10 flew over the scene of the crash here. Officials tell us the plane took off from Montgomery Field and started having trouble. The plane tried to circle back around to the airfield, but was losing altitude. Officials say it appeared to have hit 2 trees on the way down and ended up about 20 feet from the Kyocera building. It was near a high voltage area and power cell area, so fire officials tell us that this could have ended much worse. Again, NTSB officials expected to arrive tonight and look over the crash to determine what caused it. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Incredible scene there. Thank you, Anthony. Now for a Team 10 investigation. Tonight we're hearing from the family of a Navy medic who died on a Southern California base. At first, the family was told it was a suicide, but now a service member has been charged in connection with his death. Our Jennifer Kastner first broke this story last year, and tonight the family tells her they think this is a cover-up.
We're about to show you a new interview with the deceased corpsman's parents. They have details they have not yet publicly shared about what they say happened the night their son died on base. Jose De Leon and wife Sandra were overcome Thursday, reacting to this week's announcement by the Marines that a service member has been charged and others are being investigated in connection to the death of their son, 30-year-old Navy Corpsman Michael Vincent De Leon. He died last summer on the 29 Palms military base, a few hours northeast of San Diego.
Sandra and I are happy that we can't even be happy, Jen. I mean, it's incredible. I mean,
sometimes I just listen to recordings just to hear his voice.
A Marine spokesperson confirmed Wednesday that one person has been charged with dereliction of duty resulting in death. A hearing has not been set. The parents first contacted ABC 10 News for help after claiming the military stonewalled them from getting answers about their son's death. ABC 10 News then learned from a source with close military ties that Naval Criminal Investigative Service, or NCIS, confirmed the shooting death was being investigated as a homicide, not a suicide, like his parents said they were led to believe.
The phone call from that residence using my son's phone was that it was a suicide.
De Leon said Thursday prosecutors told him the service member charged is a Navy corpsman, a type of medic, who was at a house party on base with his son and other corpsmen. He said prosecutors also told him that some of those corpsmen are likely facing upcoming charges.
We know that the firearm was dry fired at Michael. The firearm was put away, and then it came out again. And according to some statements, they were horsing around, and the firearm came out again, and that's when Michael was killed.
These men need to be held accountable for what they did, for their actions, for their lack of courage, for their lack of honor.
NCIS is not providing any details. A spokesperson reported this week the investigation is still open.
The good news on this is that this long wait has not been in vain.
A spokesperson for the Marines said they are not giving out the names or the ranks of those who may have been involved or what punishment they could face if they're convicted. Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Turning now to coronavirus, in-person classes will resume next week at the Grossmont Union High School District. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala spoke to the superintendent about that decision and the precautions to keep everyone safe.
32% of parents surveyed in the Grossmont Union High School District wanted their students to remain in full-time distance learning from home, while 68% wanted their students to begin in-person blended learning. The district chose to move forward with both options. Starting next week, some students will be back on campus with limitations.
Students have to be divided into smaller groups.
The district superintendent, Teresa Kemper, says if parents chose to go with the blended learning model, their student is assigned to group A, B, C, or D, depending on factors like their course schedule, transportation needs, and how many students per household.
They each will come to school one day a week.
The groups determine which day the students will come to campus. The rest of the time, they'll be learning from home. Deep cleaning and disinfecting will happen on campus throughout the day, and the district created this roadmap for reopening with 5 levels.
We want to make sure that we're really confident with new routines that have been established. We want to make sure the county health conditions are continuing to improve.
They've been in level 1, which is strictly distance learning. Level 2 begins on Tuesday, September 29th. That allows students to learn from campus one day a week with 25% on campus at a time in class sizes of 8 to 12 students.
If everything looks good, after about 2 weeks, we could potentially announce going to the next level.
By level 5, students will be back on campus 5 days a week. For now, Kemper says they're taking a cautious approach and have plans in place if they do need to jump back a level.
Then if we change from 2 days a week to 1 day a week, we've already got the plan in place and it's easy to transition to that. I want parents and students to know we are so excited to see them and to have them back. There's no place like school.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
We are told that all students will be screened and temperatures checked before entering a classroom. Teachers and staff will be tested for COVID-19 regularly. Face masks are required for everyone on campus. And parents hoping to get their kids back in the classroom protested this afternoon against the San Dieguito Union High School District. Last Thursday, the Board of Trustees voted to extend distance learning through the second half of the school year. But parents say it is time for schools now to reopen. Tonight, board members are discussing how the district can expand services to all students while following public health guidelines.
Here are the latest numbers. The county announced another 171 cases today, bringing our total to 45,520 of the new cases from SDSU. There were also 6 new deaths, bringing that total to 773. 2 massive cruise ships continue to idle off the coast of Coronado. They're the only ones that we've seen in our waters for months now. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn looks at the big losses the cruise industry is suffering on land.
The cruise terminal along the Embarcadero has not seen an arrival or departure since March, and the next ship won't come in at the earliest until November. In between, the region has lost tens of thousands of visitors via cruise ships, including the dollars they would bring. Chuck Abbott has a picture of a cruise ship behind his desk. It's apropos because the Intercontinental Hotel, which he runs, is steps from the terminal.
When the cruise ships are in, people like it.
Businesses like it too, because tourists flood the area ready to spend locally, including at the Intercontinental, where they're known to stay the night if their journey starts or ends in San Diego.
Which is beneficial, and they're on leisure. And those people usually, like to dine out and enjoy things.
That is until this year because of the coronavirus outbreak. The Port of San Diego says 75 cruises have canceled since March, making for a $116 million loss in economic activity. Some lines have launched back in Europe with social distancing. It's unclear when cruises will start here and at what capacity.
We anticipate, though, that once all of the protocols are in place, people start feeling a little more comfortable about cruising, that demand to set sail is going to really take off.
Meanwhile, Celebrity's Eclipse and Millennium ships remain off the coast of Coronado with a skeleton crew on board, coming in every 15 to 20 days to refuel and resupply. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
The CDC has halted cruises from embarking through September 30th. And if that is extended, the next scheduled call in San Diego is on November 5th with the Carnival Miracle.
A serial rapist pled guilty today. Juan Cordero admitted to raping 3 women over a 4-year period, some of whom were unconscious at the time. Several other women also testified he did the very same thing to them at his downtown apartment. He's scheduled to be sentenced November 4th. And 4 crewmen, they're in the hospital tonight after a possible overdose aboard a fishing boat. Narcotics agents say that the crewmen were found unconscious on the Shogun charter fishing boat this morning at Fisherman's Landing. First responders administered Narcan to the victims, which helps counteract the opioids. Investigators say that fentanyl is to blame. The boat was set to depart with a new group of 28 passengers just an hour later. No charges have been filed at this time.